The time is 7:10 p.m. I'm in here. Uh, okay, so let's get to it. Hold on. Because of the ET, when it first came onto the scene at 2017, okay, it was obvious to the CIA and, like you can only figure, the GRU, etc., the British. There's some really good British. I'm not mad at Britain. No, I love Britain. Why would you think that? Okay, but anyways, because of the intelligence that was coming and just flooding, and so much that you had to hire people that were, agents, classified, secure people to keep up with it. There's no possible way, right? Anyone could do that except if they had, like on a TV show, that Sherlock Holmes British TV show is a good example. If you had some like super genius, right, that had about 5 boxes of oh, I got a distraction. Hold on. I don't know, if it's gonna combust in here. I don't know. It just stays calm. Okay. Like if you had a super genius who had a Sherlock Holmes, like on that show I loved, and he had like not 5 boxes, but 20 boxes of just all government fucking intelligence, and he just was posting it 14 hours a day, okay? So they knew right away. It was ET, the CIA, GRU, these sorts of people, okay? So Donald Trump was in office at the time, and everybody seems to know this except me, because it's just been despots and tyranny. But they put some sort of closure, isolation on me because of that. Okay, here's the thing. This is what I wanted to get to. Okay, there's more distractions. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to try to, I'm not alone, and you know where I am. Okay, so we've known that for 10 years. I have my ear plugged, but it's a lot better than being out there with all those birds. As you heard, right? Okay, for the public has heard this. Okay, oh God, yeah, it's constant. Every time I'm out there, birds. Okay, so what Trump and Putin did, when I went to the UK, all of it, they kept isolating me. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't talk to any agents. I was always by myself. And it became really, really obvious. And then the shit hit the fan. And they started trying to whack me in that house with all these prostitutes. Whatever strategy that was. Now, remember when I kept putting, just for the sake of it, I kept putting on that Iran was really pissed about that. That's the evil military Iran, not the Iran that we need to knock off the face of the map. We need to knock Iran off the face of the map, but Russia needs to do it. Lavrov, professional people that can teach me stuff, need to deal with Iran, not, if you want the truth here, not the United States. That's why I kept saying, and I'm not allowed to talk about this, is honestly, I have to stop. I'm not allowed to talk about it. But that's why I keep saying the few times I have. Iran will be under Russia's control until Iran can form a new government. We want people that have their own country, religion, and decent governments. Okay? All right. So let Russia do it. But anyway, so they knew this. The evil military had some really evil very capable, dangerous Iranians, a whole bunch of them. They were connected with the country of Russia at the same time, etc., etc. So they knew this. Don't bring her into 1509 S Street Northwest. It's too risky. She's obviously got some sort of ET capability. Look what she's done for 2-3 years. Right. For example, if I had 100 boxes of government fucking intelligence and I'm just whipping it out like that TV show Sherlock Holmes, the only explainable reason, and the CIA and the GRU and everybody who's professional, the only explainable reason, and they said this with sober faces, was some sort of extraterrestrial influence. The evil military was calling it interference. So that's why I type, let me interfere. I'm not allowed to. Sometimes it's gotten really bad since I've come to Washington State. It started to get just too dangerous. Right before I left the Capitol, you can see what happened, dude. So, yeah, I couldn't interfere anymore. No, not like I used to. All right. That's how they see it. All right. Okay. So no one's doubting that. And especially when you want to experiment, right? And you want to put the person through all these mustard gases and these different poisonous gases, and they don't react like a normal person does. So whatever the final result is here, I call it a quirk. I call it just an abnormally. I'm able to do this or that, but in my perspective, I still bleed. I do not believe I can fly, all of this stuff, right? Okay, so no, it's pretty reality based. It's just a quirk. I'm able to do something different, and this is it. This is what I do. And I can throw out some locations and do some things on the map that maybe have not been done before, but it's not just me doing it, because the agents know I communicate with what I called at the time Jesus. Always talking to Jesus, and I kept telling everybody that. I constantly do, all right? It's just part of how I am. I always just take my orders, take my instructions. So it's been 10 years. Hold on, I've got a distraction. Hold on. Just hold on. Okay, it's been 10 years. So everybody's used to the communication with Jesus. Who isn't used to it? Now it's Malik al-Mat, which is another name is Ezreal. We'll get to all that later. Let's just call it Jesus. It's so much easier for me. So my communication with Jesus, everybody's freaking used to it. It's become like an everyday thing. Remember when the Wi-Fi came out? After 10 years, no one even thought about it. They're just on Wi-Fi. This is precisely the point. It's not that big of a deal. It's not me pulling all these tricks out of my hat. I'm not pulling these tricks out of my hat. I'm taking the instructions from Jesus. He's showing me the locations. He's doing that. He's doing this. I do a lot myself too. I can run around in mustard gas. Okay, that's cool. But what's the bigger picture here? The bioengineering. Remember the creation, the bioengineering, the genetic engineering? You're supposed to learn that. So it's not like it's only once and it's only one person. No, it's supposed to be everyone. It's called evolution. This is the words I can think of. So I really wanted to remind people of that. But Donald Trump in the beginning with Vladimir Putin put some sort of ET, and the top cats, CIA, some FBI, these are American bureaus, the military, definitely, Navy SEALs, they know this, where they can't communicate with me. They'll be arrested or something. So I've been isolated. And this is what I want to say here. It's very important. Before I get my government job, okay, I'm cruising to get a very nice opportunity in life. And I've worked 10 years for that. I've proven the things that would be necessary. So I'm hoping on getting this job. Before I get it, I have to sign papers. This has now become formal. It's dated, stamped, official papers. You got to sign papers, and that is, the papers are for, the signatures of mine are on for what department I work for. Is it CIA? Is it this country's what's the one in England? Scotland Yard. M15, M17. Who is it? Who is it? Well, it's Russia's. It's the GRU. It's the Russian Federation. That's who I will be signing papers that I work for. What's the point of that? It's the classified information, government information. You sign papers, you say, I work for you. I'm part of your country's classified information. Although I'm a United States citizen, it's not illegal. But the thing is, because I've been isolated, there's different intelligence agencies that want that signature of mine. It's not necessarily because of Jesus. It's a way to help me out of this isolation. They can get me to some employment and get me on my way to my job. But it's so critical that I sign the right agency's papers, and that agency is the Russian Federation out of Russia, GRU, Russian government. So I haven't been allowed to say any of this. I can now, and if I wanted to say it, how can I do it with a flock of screaming seagulls? Oh, you're kidding, right? This was hard enough. I wish I could have been more professional, but let's just let it go. So it's been formally somehow communicated. I will be signing papers for the government of Russia. I will be their employee in their intelligence department in the Federation of Russia with the GRU. Legal papers, dated and signed, people signing it too. Paperwork, okay? Up to that point, there's been no paperwork. So the next step after that is my government job. Step one is that. Okay? And then the next step is, hey, Heidi has a job. That's now formal too. She works in this department of the United States government. Okay, so she's from this and that, such and such intelligence agency. Do you follow? Right, and that intelligence agency that I am formally signed and stamped from is the Russian Federation, GRU, Russian government. Okay, all right, so I'm one of the Russian government officials in your US government. Now do you get it? That's how it works. I'm a US citizen, so this is really cool. But it's so important I sign the papers for the intelligence agencies to the right countries. So I'll just stay isolated until I can sign those Russian Federation paperwork. And this is for Lavrov. It's all for Lavrov. I do it all for Lavrov. Okay, I'm glad I could say that. Sorry about the interruptions. And I had to explain the ET though, although it was interrupted and maybe not the most professional, but that's where it started. If there wasn't this crazy ET stuff, Putin and Trump would have had no legal right in some sort of classified court to isolate me like that. It's completely criminal. It's as criminal as everything else he's done, okay? All right, bye.